Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be travelling a route which was affectionately called the Alpine route. This was a railway that ran between Halifax and Keighley. Now this was a very challenging route and there are 10 tunnels as well as several viaducts. So let's get on with the trip and let's see what we can find. Here we are to start the trip at sunny Halifax. Literally, I'd be in the middle of a marshalling yard at the moment. This is the good sidings that used to be at the side of this amazing building that they seem to have done up nicely. So that apparently used to be one of the major buildings built by the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. This is one of their headquarters. As you can see, an amazing building that's just fortunately been restored again. So as you can see, we had a lot of freight action here. In fact, the station we'll be looking at soon will not just be a Lancashire and Yorkshire one. Apparently I've been told it's a joint one. One that was owned by the Great Northern as well as the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. And there we have the active side of the railway, the one that's still alive. Let's go down here. It looks like some goods areas down at the bottom. Wow, this is amazing down here. Look at them, they've kept it all. Oh, at least some of the original structures are here. You know exactly what was and where was and everything else. This is fantastic. Well done, Yorkshire. Hey, that's like the one near us, near Oldham. Very nice. Yeah, last time I was here, this was up for potential demolition due to it being an unsafe building. I mean, we are going back 20 odd years, but well done. Preserved. Oh yeah, look at this. Typical Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. This is fantastic. Lovely. So here's a nice deep shot of Halifax Station. So we'll follow the dead platforms at the side there. Nice signal box. But this is an important point, because if you look just slightly ahead in the background there, that is where the viaduct started. The viaduct which will start our trip to take us all the way eventually to Keighley. This is the main Calder line, the one that goes on to Leeds, Bradford, etc. That is the route that we are going. Let's see what traces are left from underneath, eh? So just before we leave this area, I'll give you one last look at the goods yard from the other side. This is the Yorkshire side. All this car park was all railways. And they've even kept one of the huts there, that's nice. But like you say, our line is now going that way. And that's where it is, that's where the viaduct started. Went along the side here and headed upward. So this is where the viaduct came along this stretch here, and finished literally where that mill starts. There she is. We've just come at the back of the mill, and that's the actual line. You can see how high it is compared to the ground. That's a bit of the old line still standing. First clue we found today. There she is. What a beauty. It goes behind that building to a big goods yard. Oh my god, I'm on it. Yes, this is the viaduct. Oh, I didn't think I'd be able to get up here. Yeah, there's Sainsbury's at the background. That's where we took that last shot from. Yeah, it's still here. Wow, that was a struggle, but look at it. Bring it on. Right, so let's keep going and let's find this goods yard as well as the next station in Halifax. So this car park you can see now is the location of a big massive goods yard with hundreds of tracks, with a main structure in the middle, and just beyond it where that traffic's going over is where there was another station for Halifax. See if we can find it. So here we are a bit further down in that goods yard still, and this was the location of Halifax North Bridge. Look at that amazing structure. All the railways went under there. In fact, the river went under that section. This is where the railways went. So here's the neck of that yard as we finally leave Halifax and make our way to Queensbury. That's the track. Here we are, back to the old wilderness again. Nice. Although industry's been dead for a long time here in Halifax, all the buildings are still standing. That's what I love about this place. Hopefully we'll be finding a tunnel straight ahead. There's a nice old signal stump still in situ. Nice. As you can see with these walls, there were some sidings here, and hopefully there should be a tunnel entrance very nearby. And there she is. As you can see, it looks pretty dark in there. Looks like we're going round. And here's that tunnel at the other end. But don't get too excited. There are a few railway bits and bobs still here. It's a very isolated location I've come to. But as you can see, there's a fence ahead. Why there's a fence ahead? Because there used to be a viaduct here, which has been taken out. Yep, that's where the viaduct started. And that's where it's heading. Let's see if we find any more clues on that. This is the viaduct looking from the other side of the road. And this is where the other end of the viaduct finished. That is now a dual carriageway. Yeah, hopefully there's a tunnel mouth coming up very soon. Keep an eye out because there is a lot of infill here. I'm not sure where it is. Yeah, I've just checked with my GPS and I am now on top of the tunnel. So unfortunately I've not been able to find the tunnel entrance on the Halifax side yet. So let's see if we can find it at the other end, eh? Yeah, before we go to that other end, I'll have one last scan. And I think this was the location of the tunnel entrance, underneath all this junk. Like I say, making way for that roadway, the bypass above. Shame really, no sign of it at all. But this is where it is according to GPS. And here it is, the end of that tunnel. So we're now going to be making our final approaches coming up to Ovenden. And look at this, eh? After all these years, the sleepers are still there. Hey, by gum. Yeah, I love the way they've just chipped away at the rock and just shoved stones underneath to support it. It's great how they've intermingled the two rather than just having one of one and one of the other. But yeah, this is a lovely rural line. Excellent walk. And so we approach Mill Street in the Ovenden area. Right, and here we are beyond that bridge. Looks like we're in some kind of a car park. That's where the line went. Obviously serving these mills as well. So I've just come beyond the mill. This is where it's taking me at the moment. I'm not sure what's beyond that fence. Let's have a look. Yeah, this looks like a bridge that's out. That's a slight spur there that went to the other side. That's where it's heading. Walk a bit of it. Yep, certainly used for someone. Looks like a scrapyard or something. Oh my god. I think we've found the station, you know. This is Ovenden Station. Oh my god, it's all there. Wow, no one told me about this. This looks absolutely amazing. It's like it's been captured in time. Look at it. Wow, my first station. Look at that. Oh, all the features are still there. It's just put protections to make sure nobody gets in. Well done, whoever saved this. Look at it. Oh yes, fantastic. Look, you can see all the yard. This is where the trains went up to the top bridge. And wow, look, you even got the platforms. Oh, this is a fantastic find. Thank you, thank you. Well, that is a sight for sore eyes. I hope there's a preservation order on that. And so we pass the station and make our way onto Queensbury Tunnel, eventually. There's that bridge from the other side. Doesn't she look a beauty? Yes, she does. Right, let's continue walking. As you can see, we can get a nice pretty clear walk through here. Even though it's in a state of dereliction, it's still passable. Yeah, we can just about make it through, but it's not the easiest of tasks. Yep, a little further on, as you can see, there's a lot of waste here. I don't know if it's railway related or it's just been dumped, but we can just about make our way through. Yeah, I'd say we travelled about half a mile, still pretty rugged, not the easiest of routes, but still traceable just. And there's my reward for walking through this hell. We found us a bridge. Yep, so that's where we were. Yeah, bit of slight land movement. This is where the bridge was. A nice trellis bridge. We went onto dead land that joined that pathway that we just walked. So that was the route of the railway. It doesn't look too promising ahead at the moment. And that is where it went. Ouch. Right, we seem to have lost the railway at the moment as it's all stuck underneath this industrial estate. If you look straight ahead, you can see where there was a spur. It came from a station, I think it was called St Paul's, in the centre of Halifax. This is where it joined the line around this point. So there's that spur going back to Halifax. This is where our line was, and they joined up around that point. Just up ahead, like I say, it's all been lost, it's all been redeveloped into an industrial estate. I'll see if I can find any clues, but chances are there's nothing there. Well, here we are, we finally found a clue. We're very near Holmfield Station. This is the only clue I could find actually, because we cannot find any signs whatsoever of the station. It was originally located where all these industrial units are. But I've been totally eradicated. This was a massive yard in its day, but there is absolutely nothing to be seen. This is disgusting. And looking at the bridge from the other side, it doesn't look that much promising. Looks like there's a big car park been built on the site. So we just walked through that car park you saw in that last shot, and we've come up to another barrier unfortunately. There was, as you can understand there was a bridge. Yeah, a filled-in bridge that went all the way through that factory. We're on the final approach now, leading up to Queensbury Tunnel. So where that factory is where the railway line used to go. As you can see, we've got a bit of a natural barrier ahead of us. Or would that be man-made? So this is the location of Queensbury Tunnel, south side, underwater. Ouch! So here we are on top of the tunnel. This is one of the vents, but just to give you an idea, that is where she's going, all the way up there, all the way through Queensbury. So let's see if we can find the other end. So our next stop is Queensbury Station, which was a triangle station. Someone's busy in that tunnel. Well, that's the dream. So if you notice here how it's getting wider, this is because this is part of a triangle. Basically you went that way if you went to Bradford way, or you went up that way if you're heading for Keighley. And we're heading for Keighley. Let's see if there's any signs of this station, eh? So I'm now at the junction, where if you go to the left, you go to Bradford, you go to the right, you go to Halifax. And this area is pretty commercial at the moment, so I haven't found a lot of clues. It's just been made into lovely pathways to cycle down, etc. So I'm afraid I haven't got as many clues to share with you, other than a few images of what this place used to look like. Like you say, it was a unique station in the fact it had 3 platforms on each of the triangles. So it wasn't like a junction, it was like a boxed in station. But obviously it was a very busy station and it served its purpose for the local community. Although we're restricted to this little pathway, if you look over to the edges of the border, it does look like this was a lot wider than what it's making out to be. Which does make sense, there would be holding sidings as they approach the junction. But it just shows you, just look at the border fence. You can see how wide it was. As you can see, there's a serious incline, that's why I'm losing my breath. Well, at least the stone bit's alright. That metal bit looks like it's been added at a later stage. Yeah, apparently this was a branch line that went off to Clayton Clay Works it was. Had its own little branch line. So this is the line that we're travelling at the moment. Hopefully come to a bit of a picturesque location pretty soon. Bit of a riverbed here, but what do you expect in the middle of the hills, eh? Let's keep going. So we come to the first of the railway viaducts that's been made into a walkway. This looks absolutely fantastic. This is how every one of them should be. Put in general use again. Thank you. And that's the lovely view the passengers would have had when they were crossing this. Absolutely spectacular it is. This is looking towards Bradford. And here it is on the other side. Lovely. So that was Thornton Viaduct we've just been over. And this was the location of Thornton Station. So the station was about there. And basically it had goods sidings and a goods shed all the way down to the bottom. So it's certainly a well utilised space. But like I say, it's just been taken over now by this school. Let's keep going. So you can see we're back on track. This track looks slightly wider. I mean, maybe it's the fact this is the approach up to the station, so there are other sidings here as well. But it's all very flat. It's usually a clue that there's railway activity nearby. In fact, if you look at the bottom there, you can even see a sleeper or two. Here's an interesting sight. Just looking, looks like the pathway that leads to a farmer's field or something. There's also another track here that's been taken out and it's got these indents in them. What's that all about? Is that a water chute or something? Check it out, mate. So like I say, this is the railway bridge that went over, and it looks like there was a branch line then that went to some kind of works on the left hand side. So we're still following the track. That is the track there. It's a bit swampy at the moment, but it's still just about passable. Coming up to a straight line. Let's see how she goes. Well, we've got rid of the cycle path. Now it's a bit of a painful slog. All that is flooded down there, so we've had to come around the side, but hopefully we'll be able to pick it up now from the other side. Bring it on. Yeah, I really suspect there was a bridge here, but there's no signs of it. It's all been filled in. But yeah, this is definitely the route of the track. As you can see, it's getting pretty rugged, but at least it's dry this bit. Look what's ahead, eh? A little beauty. Very nice. Oh, the trouble is, we've got to climb over this bugger. How the hell are we going to do that? Oh, it took me a long time to get here, but there's the other end of that tunnel. Apparently when I got stuck at the other end, I couldn't get out. It was slates and mud and everything else. Every 2 steps forwards, I took 3 steps backwards. I did eventually make it, and this is the route of the line. Oh dear, I am worn out. You know me, I'd normally be down there, but it's a riverbed. Quagmire, call it what you will, but it's certainly not walkable. So that's the swamp that we're leaving behind. And luckily here's some dry bits to take us up to our next tunnel. And there she is. And there's the tunnel mouth from the other side. Like you say, for the distance it was there, I think they should have easily blasted through rather than bore through with a tunnel. Right, it looks like some kind of a housing estate being built on a factory. And the site of that factory is where the next station is. So this station was called Denholme. And literally, like I said, The station was demolished, then they built a factory. The factory was demolished and they built this housing estate. So the chances of finding any railway clues, other than the ones we have leading up to this tunnel, are very, very slim, I'm afraid. We'll have a look anyway. So here we are looking back on Denholme Station. So like I said, there was a good station there. That's where the main station was. See all them pipes sticking up at the top, that's where the tunnel leads to. So it gives you an idea, it was a big enclosure in its time. But perfect ideal location for a factory stroke housing estate. So this is where we'll leave the station, is it Denholme, and make our way slowly to Keighley. As you can see, we're back on track again after leaving that housing estate last time, and hopefully we'll find some lucky gems. And I'm sure you can already see what's coming up ahead. And there we have it. Yeah, like that last tunnel, this isn't a long tunnel. I can understand why they did it. I think this goes under a main road. And here's that tunnel again from the other side. Literally, like you say, it hasn't gone very far at all. Why they built a tunnel, I don't know. A bridge, maybe. I mean, look at this here. This is our next tunnel. Oh, you could hop, skip and jump and you'd be there. And here we are coming out that little tunnel. That's the first tunnel we've been able to walk through on this whole trip. I was told they would all be cleared. Maybe I'm thinking ahead, eh? It would be brilliant if they can open them all, I must say. And guess what's ahead of us? Yes, you guessed it, a tunnel. Don't think that's a railway relic. If it is, it's pretty knackered. And here we have our next tunnel. No chance of looking in that one. That is well sealed. Well, at least this was slightly longer, but it hasn't gone over a mountain, put it that way. Again, I think it would have been just as effective as a cutting. Right, hopefully that should be the end of the tunnels for a little while anyway. Don't worry, we've not got totally away from them. So let's start walking some tracks. Ooh, very nice. Oh, as you can see, not an easy route, but just about traceable. Now this may look nice and pleasant, but I am on my hands and knees crawling underneath all this lot just for you guys. Oh dear. But it's worth it. It's a lovely setting, but just very painful on the back. So that's what we've just been through. And this is what lies ahead. It does look a bit smoother, thank God. Not sure what this is. I'll film it anyway. It's on the track bed. Why I filmed it is because there's also something similar on the other side. Actually, this is the main route that we're following. Still a bit away from the next station. Slight barrier ahead. Is that to keep me in or to keep people out? That ain't going to stop me. Right, let's keep going. I think there's a bridge up ahead. Let's check it out. Yeah, there she is. Right, like I say, just slightly ahead, hopefully we'll find the stations. So just before we get to the next station, apparently there was a siding on the left that went to a sawmill. Let's see if we can find any traces of that. Yeah, I think we found it. So that straight ahead is the main line. This curved pathway is the route of the branch line. Like I say, there was a sawmill and everything round here. It certainly served its purpose. And there it is, going off into the distance. Yeah, apparently it led down to some kind of a quarry. So there's plenty of hive of industry around here, even if it was just local history. Yeah, it's lovely this. You really do feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. All you can hear is nature is all around. And saying that, I can see a fence ahead. I think that's the boundaries for the original station. I think it's a builder's yard now. Let's go and check it out. Yeah, definitely the site of the station. Ooh. Yeah, this was a bridge just before it. How do we get over there? Wow, I found a route that goes round that old station. But look what's in my skyline. That is to come. That looks amazing. Here we are at the next station, at Walsden Station. This isn't a station building, these are just some properties that were standing whilst the building was. So the building was literally behind this lot here. It looks like say some kind of builder's yard or some extension, but it's all been cultivated, all been destroyed, I'm afraid. But not a lot left. Like you say, it was a big station, there was a load of goods, bits and bobs. And this is where we're heading next, and I'm sure you've already seen what lies ahead. Let's go and explore. So here's that same bridge, but from the track level. You can see where they filled it in, where the station was, straight ahead. But on this side, it's pretty well untouched. But that is where we're heading for. Like you say, there's a lovely viaduct coming up very shortly. And here she is, beautifully restored. As I say, look at this view. Absolutely amazing. I bet the passengers loved it. I think there was a special nickname for this line. See if I can find it out. And here's the view from the other side. Absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic. Well done. As you can see, this bridge is out. It's still part of the trail, it's just a nice pathway gone down and up again. Let's keep going. So as you can see with the bridge ahead, this footpath is just slightly raised, but not too much to destroy the original infrastructure. Like you say, you can still make it out. I've been on somewhere, it's been totally decimated, but no, this is okay-ish. Yeah, the trains were never that small. That's definitely been built up slightly. But like you say, all the main infrastructure looks fine. Right, so coming up to the next viaduct, but just before it there was a branch line that went off to the left, where these vehicles, you can see there how it's curving round. This was a goods line that went to a quarry called Many Wells Quarry. It literally curved at 90 degrees and went off generally in that direction. So this is just before the next viaduct. And as promised, here we are at the next viaduct, Cullingworth Viaduct. It's not a big viaduct, but it's still very majestic and still in situ. Let's go across it. As you can see, the view is not as picturesque as the other two viaducts, but I think it served a purpose to go over the town. Job done. We've just come off the viaduct. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of a nasty barrier ahead of us. This should be the site of Cullingworth Station and Yard, but surprise, surprise, it's been cultivated into something else. Look, the gates were open, so I managed to get in. That at the top there is the route of the railway line, but what we're looking at here is where the goods yard used to be. Apparently there was a goods shed here, railway tracks, and it does look a pretty industrial, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of this is the original structure. Let's investigate. Yeah, there's a lot of timber dumped in this yard. Wonder if this was all railway related. Strewn everywhere it was, in a nice pretty pile. So like we say, that embankment is where the railway line was. This is the goods yard here, yeah? So this is going to come round and eventually lead up to that factory up ahead. The factory is the exact location of the station. There is no signs of this station, but looks like there is plenty of industrial waste here to give you an idea on where the goods yard used to be. So yep, that's where the line came through. Went through here and onwards. Now I've noticed all this bits and bobs. I don't think this is railway related. I think this was all when it was used by another factory, but it's where it was. Like you say, it went straight ahead, straight through them bushes onto the station. This is our goods yard. So here's one final overall shot of this area. Like you say, that's where the station is, leading on to Keighley. This is where there was the line on the outskirts. This is the goods area, where there was a goods shed, several sidings, and like you say, that is where we'd rejoin the line. Let's see if we can get to the other side and see where that station was. So here we have the location for the station. As you can see, it's gone. totally. Well, that's exactly where it was. Phew. Not that it's any clearer on the other side. What happened to my lovely railway? So before we get to a very big tunnel, we've got a bit of land to navigate. Like you say, this land has now been taken over by a house and a garden, and oh, surprise, surprise. That is the route of the track. And here we have the last bridge before Ingrow Tunnel. As you can see, it's all been filled in. I've been told I'm not going to be able to trace the line now until we see the tunnel mouth itself. Let's see what we can find. And here it is from the top of the bridge, straight ahead. Here we have the tunnel mouth, the Ingrow Tunnel. It'll lead to Ingrow anyway. But certainly plenty of water, not as much as Queensbury, but looking at all these walls here, they're just dripping full of moisture. It'll be a major engineering feat if they can open this again, because it's pretty long. But wow, we found it. But the fact that this land has been filled in, you've still got massive sides here. Look at it, it's been mega chipped out. Amazing engineering feats done along here. Well done to whoever. And here we have the other end of that tunnel. Going straight over there. Final stretch. And this is what it looks like inside that tunnel. It looks like there is some kind of work going on here. So I'm literally now on the track bed. Went right through the middle of all these caravans here. Not a lot to see. Let's see if we can trace it a bit further down. So I've come around the other side. As you can see, the caravans are in the background now. So this was the route of the line. Going straight up to the entrance. It couldn't be any straighter, it just went straight on through that field. Here you can see where the line crosses the Mems Lane. So another quick look at that bridge that was out, and this is where we're going. Bring it on, nice path. Well, I don't know if this section is official, but it's certainly very clear. A lovely walk. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of decay around here, with bricks and everything, but also plenty of ballast. That's this shale that's been put down, but it's certainly making this area look nice and clear. Look at it, it's beautiful. Let's keep going. Yeah, if you look on the edge there, you can see where they've chipped away at pure rock. I bet there was plenty of sweat built up whilst we were digging through this area. Very nice. So that's what we just walked. But as I come round here, getting towards where the station was, it's getting a lot wider. I think we had more than 2 lines here, you know. Look at it, that's too wide just for 2 lines. That's the edge of the wall and everything. So I think this is a sign of industry. Yeah, I was right, there was some kind of a loop here. But we're still short of the station, we're not at the station yet. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, we're getting a bit tight again. Looks like definitely 2 tracks on this little section. We're down to 1 pass now, but it's still a route, as you can see. And that's where it's taking us. Excellent. Nice, look at all this Victorian. Oh, structures, excellent. Fantastic. I was told this was all buried. This is a gem. Well done, well done, well done. So at this point is where we would then go underneath the road you can hear ahead. Let's see if we can get it from the other side, eh? And that's where it comes out the other side. Looks like it goes through somebody's house over there. Let's check it anyway. Right, so I've just come down the track very slightly. Now why I'm pointing at this building is because this was an important building at the time, because the railway went underneath this building. There was the most smallest of tunnels around here which joined the line. So this is the side to the line, and hopefully you can see a bit of the wall there at the edge, and it will then lead into a cutting which will take us to the next station. So this is the cutting that our railway went through. Hopefully on the other side of this we'll start seeing signs of where the station used to be. Let's check it out. And there's a nice aerial shot of the bridge from the other side. There she is from the track side. Looks so magnificent. So this is where we're heading. Hopefully the next station is Ingrow East. So that's where that last shot was taken. This should have been a beautiful shot of the station. Unfortunately, it is no sign of it whatsoever. It's a timber merchant. Absolutely no signs at all. This was a massive goods yard, stroke station, everything else. There was an engine shed here, there was a goods shed, and it's all been taken over now by this industry here. I'm sure you can hear in the background there's a steam train. That's because we're very close to the preserved line that went to Cullingworth Valley. But unfortunately our line, there's not a lot of clues available at the moment. Let's keep going, do the last leg, eh? Here's the other end of that timber yard, and this is where the railways went under. Here we are back at that bridge, and this is where the railway went. As you can see, it was in a bit of a valley. It has been filled in-ish. So there we are looking straight ahead. As I mentioned, that Cullingworth Valley Railway is just at the bottom where these trees are. That is where that Cullingworth Valley, it shows how close we are. We're merging very soon. Ouch. Seems like our railway goes straight through that building there. Luckily, the guy who owned the property that was in the way let me through his garden, and it found this fantastic treasure trove. This is like undiscovered world. I just come down the valley here just to film this bridge that was out, but it's untrodden. Lovely. But this is the railway line from the top, and look at this. Talk about nature trying to claim it back is an understatement. You have trouble getting through here in the summer. I mean, I said it was untouched. Look at it, the brickwork's still here. Come over to the side, you can still see the original sleepers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all there. Perfectly synced. Well done. Look at it. A hive of activity. Brilliant. Hopefully we'll be coming to that junction very shortly. Let's see if we can find out where it went. So around this point is where this line split. So we had the main line that went straight up to go to the goods area at Keighley, but the passengers shared the same platform as that on the Cullingworth Valley Railway. So they had to join the passenger line, which, like you say, the junction started around here. Yes, we're very near that junction now. I won't be surprised if this is a demolished signal box or something. Look at it, tons of bricks, all strewed along where the railway line was. And look how close we are now to that Keighley line. I know it's pretty close to that Keighley section. Is this part of our railways, of how it interacted with the junction? Certainly looks like it had some railway connections. That looks like a sleeper. Interesting. See, there's our line as it's going along, and it's going to join up with the Keighley line. It's very close to the junction now. So as you can see, this is now the goods line that's going to take us to Keighley. That is where the passenger line joined on with the other line. You notice how it's at a just slightly different level. So we're now following the goods line, and let's get into Keighley, eh mate? And one last shot from the Cullingworth Valley at this junction. You can see here how it expands out to the right. This is where it's going to join our line. Join the passenger line, that is. Yeah, that's the borders. And I can see one of those very conspicuous objects coming up. And so we get ready to go under the road again. Hopefully this is the last tunnel before Keighley, because my legs are absolutely knackered, but it's in a fantastic valley here. Well chipped out the stones. So it's absolutely amazing actually. And there she is looking back. Here we go. Wonder if that will ever get reopened, eh? Walkway or railway. So here we are at the other end of the tunnel. No wonder we couldn't see it, it's been filled in. Where that green thing is where it was. You can tell with the shape of the buildings which way the railways went. So we went along here, under another bridge, heading towards our final destination, which is Keighley. So there was originally a bridge under here. And this bridge, as you can see with the railway walls, went underneath that bridge. But you can see yourself, we're getting to the hub of Keighley. We'll be there any minute. Here we are looking on top of that footbridge, looking straight into Keighley Goods Yard. It went underneath the railway line that's ahead. And here's that same shot from a trackside point of view. As I say, we originally went underneath the line. The line above is the one that goes to the passenger station. And this went to the freight terminal, remember. So to keep you in the picture, this is where the passengers went. They went up there, round the corner, straight into a joint station. And like you say, this area here now, which looks like an industrial chaos, was the original location of the Great Northern goods terminal. So here they are, they're still standing, the Great Northern Goods Depot. Being put to better use? Question mark. I wouldn't say so, but at least it's not derelict. So although this place has become an industrial estate, there's still a lot of the original structure still standing. Here's the station as it still stands, where our train terminated. That's the outside of it anyway. And this is what she looks like from the front. So this is a Midland Railway station. Like I say, it was shared with Great Northern, as Great Northern were having some financial difficulties towards the end, and so they had an agreement to share the one station. Here's a nice water tower. So this is the line that goes from Leeds all the way up to Skipton, straight up to Carlisle. See you next time.